Taps it to Jack Shea. Shea gets it taken like a pendulum, goes up to the slam.
Thanks for joining us on an all-new episode of Sports Path. Today we show you a ton of above-the-rim basketball from the North St. Paul Polars.
Yeah, that's right, Sam. It's the Dunkathon right here on SEC Sports. Throw it down, big man. But this Slam Dunks will show you a little bit of hockey before the Slam Dunks, especially the White Bear Lake Bears.
Yeah, so don't go anywhere. We've got all that and more as we take you down the Sports Path.
Rebound and a goal!
Welcome back into the Sports Path studio here at Suburban Community Channels for, again, an all-new episode of your favorite show, that is Sports Path, right here on SEC. And like we just said, today on the show, we've got some good basketball action down at North St. Paul, where they have a number of players that can really dunk the basketball.
Oh, Sam, I could never dunk when I was in high school. I could probably jump about a deck of cards. You're a little bigger. Can you dunk basketball?
Well, a few years ago, I could maybe get rim. These days, I'm not so sure about that. But not bad for a guy who's just south of 6 feet. You know, I just thought I could get up there a little bit.
It's not bad.
But I digress. That's enough about our athletic achievements or lack thereof. Let's get right into the show. Got a lot to get to you tonight, and like the way we always like to start it, we're going to start it with how we scour social media in search of the best tweets of the last couple weeks that have to do with the high school teams right here in the Northeast Metro. So it is time for our social media montage. All right, after all that scouring, to start off the montage today, we go back to January 29th when the North Activities Twitter account tweeted a photo of their new head football coach. That's right, Gene Teiglin is his name, and last year he was head coach of the Academy Force. That's a name you're not familiar with. That is a co-op team between the New Life Academy, Bethany Academy, Mounds Park Academy, Twin Cities Academy, St. Croix Prep Academy, and lastly, Liberty Classical Academy. So you can see why they are called the Academy Force. He ended up growing that program, but decided to leave because a bit of a lack of numbers in the program. So we would like to give a big welcome to Coach Teiglin as he moves to North. Definitely a bigger school, going to have a lot of numbers there, and a good opportunity for Coach Teiglin.
Yeah, Liberty Classical. Let's take this one back, and we're going to go to girls basketball, where we have Matamidi girls, where Emma Grouthouse recently broke the school record in scoring. The record was broken during their February 2nd game against Tartan, where she scored 22 points to tip her over the edge. So congratulations to you for a fine career at Matamidi.
Yeah, not surprised by that. Figured she would probably be closing in on that number one of these days, so congrats to Emma Grouthouse. Now next, it looks like Brian Peliquin, the activities director over at White Bear Lake, was out to see an adapted floor hockey game where the White Bear Lake team came back in the final seconds of the game to win it 10-8. After starting the season 6-0, good to see that the team is still doing well. And of course, that activities director is spending time out to a variety of athletic events, and knowing Brian Peliquin the way we do around here, not surprised at all, and a nice job there by the floor hockey team.
Yeah, exactly right, Sam. But finally, we have a tweet. This one comes from me, myself, and I. Tweeted out a compliment to Damian Johnson after he coached North St. Paul to a win, 79-62 blowout over Hastings Raiders back on Monday. Damian went right ahead and gave all the credit to his team. We got an interview with Coach Johnson later on, the former Gopher, later in this show. He shares a little bit about his coaching style and a lot more.
Pretty special stuff there, John. Got on the social media montage yourself and got a response from the old ball coach.
Hey, I'm up to 40 followers.
Hey, we've been following some North basketball, so not surprised. Well, always a good time there with the social media montage. And remember, you can always tag us at SamSECTV or at JohnSECTV to make sure your tweet is included in the next show's montage. But for now, that is all we have on this edition of the social media montage.
All right, now we'll shift gears to girls hockey, specifically the Metro East standings. The regular season wrapped up over the weekend. Montage had a great year with only 2 losses in the league, one of those coming against conference champs and another coming against the South St. Paul game. They lost 6-0, but the Zephyrs played some really good hockey down the stretch, ending the year winning 8 of 9 games, including a 3-1 win against South St. Paul. And the win, however, was not enough for the Zephyrs to leapfrog South St. Paul in the sections as the Packers were awarded the 2 seed and Mott the 3. North Tartan had a tough season as they are still trying to find their legs as a newly combined program, but they were able to pick up a few wins in this very tough conference.
Yeah, and over in the Suburban East, we have White Bear Lake. They had an up-and-down season. They started out the year right outside the top 10 in Class 2A, winning 10 of their first 12. Then after a bit of a midseason lull, they too ended the year right. As you can see, they did not end up winning the conference, with Forest Lake earning the top spot, but White Bear ended the regular season winning 4 of 5, and the only hiccup coming in the form of a tie against a really good Cretin-Derham Hall team. The question moving forward for the Bears is who will show up in the playoffs, the team that lost 4 of 5 in early January or the team that finished off the year so strong. Well, White Bear starts section play against North Tartan at Aldrich Arena this Saturday at 5 p.m.
Yeah, now let's check out the boys Metro East standings. Looks like St. Thomas has secured the Metro East championship. But the big story from Metro East this year, Montage and Tartan finishing ahead of Hill Murray. It's true the Pioneers had a down year, but let's not take anything away from Tartan and Montage. I mean, look at those records, outstanding. And the Zephyrs, tough schedule set them up nicely for the postseason as a single-A school. They currently have the second best QRF in Class A, and most teams wrap up the regular season with some non-conference action. Tartan finishes Metro East play against Hastings tomorrow night.
That's how things sit in the Metro East. Our lone team in the Suburban East, we got a highlight here courtesy of Valley Access. This is when Stillwater hosted the Bears, and scoring is going to start for White Bear as a shot is deflected from the point, but Max Genrich gets his stick on it to put it in the back of the net for the 1-goal lead. Same story in the second period. Genrich finds his stick on a loose puck in front of net and puts it in for the 2-0 lead in the second. Now into the third, a loose puck at center ice, long pass to Genrich. He can't get it in. Rebound goes to Grant Hofeld, who nets the third of the game and his 5th on the season. White Bear on the power play, a loose puck in the Stillwater zone. Eventually Austin Carroll gets it, put on net, slides off the far pipe, but Billy Rose is there for the rebound to make it 4-0 White Bear in the third. Stillwater finally nets a goal late in the game. Noah Tussey takes it in all by himself up the near side. Actually hits the crossbar on the shot, but Joe Raleigh bumps it in to put the Ponies on the board. But that would be it for Stillwater. They can't compete with White Bear Lake. It's a 4-1 game, setting the stage for an exciting postseason tournament. Now, Stillwater's kind of been a powerhouse the past few seasons in Class 4-2A, but this year looks like it could be all White Bear Lake, and we are definitely hoping for a Bears championship right here at Sports Path and at SEC Sports. So now with that, we'll take a look at the Suburban East standings. And in Suburban East, the White Bear Lake sitting in second place just behind Cretin-Derham Hall. The Bears have been playing great hockey this season with their only loss in conference coming at the hands of that Cretin team 5-4. The Bears also beat arch rivals Hill Murray this season and only lost to the top-ranked team in state, Edina, after overtime. The Bears will likely win out in conference the rest of the way. And if they could get a little help from Stillwater, who takes on Cretin in a few days, White Bear could earn themselves a split of the conference crown. But regardless of whatever happens in the Suburban East, White Bear is a good bet to be the top seed in Section 4, a distinction they have not held for a few years. But with Hill Murray and Stillwater down a little bit this season, it could be a big season for your White Bear Lake Bears.
Yeah, sounds like we'll be rooting for a non-Fab 4 team in Stillwater to upset Cretin. But let's shift over to the girls basketball, specifically the Metro East standings. Let's check out where Montage currently is. They're absolutely dominating the competition right now. 18-1 overall, 8-0 in conference. Lehigh University bound Emma Grodhaus, who we highlighted earlier. Social media Montage is averaging 23 points per game. She'll have to stay hot, however, the rest of the season so that this Zephyr team can make it to the state tournament. Now, shifting over to Tartan, they're currently 12-9 on the year. They're having a rough go in conference with a 4-5 record. Sophomore Azaria Chevrolet is leading the team with 15 points per game.
Yeah, switching over to the Suburban East, where we have White Bear Lake. And they have a record that nobody really saw coming after going to the state tournament the past couple years. The Bears have been playing a little mediocre compared to their high expectations from a few seasons. Their record is now below 500 as they are 5-7 in conference. Although they return a lot of players from last year, haven't had quite the same results. Courtney Crouch is averaging 11 points per game for the Bears. They're going to need a lot more than that, but we'll see if they can turn it around come postseason. They've been a postseason team past couple years. All right, so that's it for girls basketball standings, and we are finally getting around to our newest edition of Coach's Corner. And this week, Alex Westad went down to a North St. Paul boys basketball practice to talk with new coach Damian Johnson. Coach Johnson is a first-year head coach at North. He played for the Minnesota Gophers as well as some professional basketball in Australia. So when it comes to basketball, this guy has got some major chops. I don't want to spoil anything, so here it is, our newest edition of the Coach's Corner.
Hi everybody, welcome here inside the gym here at North High School. No, this is not the latest fashion statement in the wrap around my head. I did sustain a little cut last night, but that's neither here nor there. It's time for Coach's Corner. We're here this time on the basketball court, joined here today by Mr. Damian Johnson, new head coach here of North High School.
How you doing? How you doing?
Doing well. Could you tell us a little bit about your background and your experience here with basketball?
Over the past few years, I've been playing basketball overseas, NBA Development League, coaching at Eden Prairie High School as an assistant coach for a while. And some might know I played at the U of M. So, the last about 10 years, I've been really busy where basketball has become more of a job than just a fun thing, but it's a job I enjoy.
So let's talk about the decision to get into coaching. What led you to go into that path?
I just love basketball, so I just didn't want to get away from it. So I'm not playing anymore, so coaching is the best way to stick to it.
So you mentioned that you went to Eden Prairie for a little bit of time. Now you're here in your first season as the head coach of North. When you accepted the offer in May, what led you to choose this program to be the basketball coach?
I applied to a few other positions, and when it came down to everything, when I got a chance to meet some of the kids and be around everyone, I thought this was a good fit for me. The guys kind of have my personality already, and they're starting to, you're starting to see it a little bit on the court where they're getting more and more comfortable with my system. So it was just great. It was a great opportunity for me, and I just saw, a sleeping giant that I'm ready to try to wake up.
As you mentioned, as we were just talking here, you've been a member of the University of Minnesota Golden Gopher basketball team from 2007 to 2010. Mm-hmm. What kind of lessons at the University of Minnesota do you take into your coaching style and how you train your players?
Coach Smith, Tubby Smith, he taught me a lot. He was a lot different than me as a coach. He was a real hardcore and was tough. He was one of those old school type coaches. And I kind of took some of the things that he has, as far as focusing on making people better citizens, whereas, I'm really working with the kids on being better members of the school and just focusing on the academic and outside of basketball aspect. And that's stuff I'm really bringing over to North. And as far as defensively, he was a defensive coach, and I love defense, so I'm bringing some of his principles also here to North.
So following your graduation from the University of Minnesota, you went to the Southeastern Australian Basketball League. Talk about your experience over there in Australia.
Oh, Australia was great. It was great to see another culture. I always thought I kind of had people tell me the Australian toilets flush differently and everything, so I kind of bought into that. But getting a chance to see everything for myself, it was great. I was kind of fearful of snakes and spiders because I watch Discovery Channel a lot, so the deadly animals, Australia's always on there. So it was just great to get a chance to experience everything they have and visit some of their sites.
So let's switch now from your experience on the basketball court to your players' experience. For those of us who haven't watched the North Polars play this year, describe your team's style of play. What do we see when we see the Polars?
We're a scrappy, up-tempo bunch. We try to push the pace, pick up, press a lot. We worked very hard in the offseason to get in great shape, get in great condition. So we're utilizing our team depth, and we're trying to play fast, press, and use all our advantages we have. We're a very athletic team.
A lot of talent on your team certainly so far. Who are some of the players who have stood out to you?
Good news, Capigo, he's been great. He's doing everything he has to. He's one of our leaders. He leads the team in scoring. He's actually making a good conscious effort to focus on other aspects of his game that was his weaknesses. I kind of challenge him on that every day. DeJuan Carter, he's been a surprise for me these past few weeks. He's just stepping it up each game. And Brendan Lakeford Johnson, he's like one of our heart and soul. He's the guy that's going to do all the small things. Him and Khalil Golden, they do all the little things that's going to get us over the edge. So those two guys with good news, DeJuan and Bryce Phillips, one of our team captains, those guys going to help us get to where we need to go. So we're a deep bunch. You know, I sit here and list all my players because I think all of them bring something different to the team, where they all are important pieces. So, I mean, it's great to have some of those guys really keep stepping their games up each week.
So your team has been ranked inside or around the top 10 in Class 4A in the state of Minnesota for a good portion of the year. How much does your coaching look into that rankings? Do the players talk about it? How does it affect their style of play?
I like using it as motivation because, you know, beginning of the year we were outside the top 20, so I use that to kind of fuel them, let them know that, you know, we're the underdogs. No one's looking at North basketball as the same way they look at Cretin or Hopkins. So it's time for us to try to get to that level and push each other each day to try to get to that level. Right now we're 10, but I mean, why be satisfied with 10 when you could be number 1?
Let's take a look back again at your playing career. Are there any moments either that you played in or that your players have played in so far that have really stuck with you as something to take with you on your road in basketball?
I mean, one of the moments that kind of helped me as a coach was beating Wisconsin at Wisconsin. We were down, I think 14 with 4 minutes to go. And we could have easily gave up and cave in, but we just kept fighting back, and we were at Wisconsin, which is impossible to win anyway. So we fought back, and we played against the refs, everything, and it helped us persevere. And here, we have times where the players think the refs are against them, and I let them know you can't buy into that, man. You got to fight no matter what. And it's been a helpful tool for me coaching, just letting them know that we got to stick to the game plan. We can't let nothing get to us, and we got to keep fighting no matter what's the score.
And the last question for you before we let you go. Any advice that you would have to an aspiring coach looking to get into this profession?
Believe in yourself, man. You always got to believe in yourself, trust what you're doing, but always be willing to be open to other people's perspectives. You know, now I have a system that I plan on running, but at the same time, I ask as many coaches as possible with their feedback, with some of the things they see we could improve on, some of the stuff that they use each day. And I think it's been helping out a lot.
Awesome. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us, and best of luck the rest of the way to the Polars.
Yeah, thanks for the interview.
And from one former Gopher to another former Gopher in the studio, this is your home for North basketball here on SEC Sports.
Well, that was it, our most recent edition of Coach's Corner. To watch all of the other interviews from previous episodes, don't be afraid to check out our Suburban Community Channel's YouTube channel and search for Sports Path. With that, I guess we're going to get back in some highlights, and I think you got a game for us right now, John.
Yeah, North versus Matamidi boys basketball. Let's see if Coach Damian Johnson can get his coaching chops up to par with this Metro East matchup. We'll take you first of all. Bryce Phillips tries good news for the alley-oop, but it's a no-go on the dunk. Good thing Khalil Golden was right there to put it back in the basket. Early 2-point lead for the Polars. Now Matamidi with a sloppy shot. North gets the rebound and gets it down quickly to Bryce Phillips on the easy breakaway basket. Makes the score 7-2. Now a three-pointer from Good News. This one will be no good, but Khalil Golden once again tips it in. He draws the foul for a three-point play anyway. Now Golden will eventually put up a three here. Once again, they miss, and the rebound goes to Jack Shea from Matamidi, but Good News is going to take this one away, and he's going to throw it down with some authority. 15-6 now for the Polars. Now North finally gets some points from beyond the arc on the fast break. Bryce Phillips lobs it over to Dewan Carter. He puts it up for three. Some distance on that one, and that would be the theme of the game. 20-10 now for North. Now it takes a few more minutes, but Dewan Carter hits another one. This was an NBA three with the little ESPN graphics right there. That one was from downtown, but Matamidi would answer with a three-pointer of their own. Carmelo Lero, nothing but net. The lefty gets that one to find its home. Now with almost no threes early in the game, it's all behind the line as Phillips hits one for North. Once again, wide open from the corner. Now we'll go back to the other end. Once again, Carmelo Lero, the last 12 points of this game have all been three-pointers. That would cause Coach Keith Newman from Matamidi to take a timeout, try to slow things down just a little bit. And after the timeout, Zach Centers will hit a three from the corner. Both teams still hot from beyond the arc. Now once again, Bryce Phillips for North. He gets a nice pass from the middle, and he'll drain it from the top of the key. Now Matamidi sneaking up, and Lindquist will eventually tie this game up on a three-pointer. Or a free throw, and they're at the double bonus near at the end of the half. And then Lindquist, once again, he gets a nice pass to Chapman, and that's a score 44-41 at halftime. Matamidi trails by 3. Now Lindquist starts the second half strong, a nice pass to Jack Shea. He airballs it, but Lindquist treats that one, and he gets it in. Now North pushes a little further ahead. DeJuan Carter, look at the range on that one, about 5 feet beyond the three-point line. Drano, 62-57 now. North gets a couple more to lead 66-57, but Carmel Galero keeps Matamidi in the game. He seeks another three-pointer to make this one a 4-point game. Lindquist hits the 3 this time to make this one a 1-point game. That's the second three-pointer in a row. Now here we go. The game's tied 73-73 where Carter, this time, yep, another NBA three-pointer. Wow, this kid just showing crazy range all night. Now Lindquist will eventually make a fadeaway, but it can't go. Jack Shea gets the tip in for a 78-76 score with about a minute and a half to play. Now Lindquist takes the ball as North brings it down the court and makes it a tie ball game with a little finger roll with just about a minute 19 left to go. Now after that, it's a game of free throws, and North made them when it counted, and Khalil Golden sinks this one to seal the deal with 1.5 seconds left on the clock. And that's a final score of 84-79, what turned out to be a close game the whole way. North St. Paul facing some tough opponents this season. North stayed undefeated in conference with this win, and we talked to DeJuan Carter after the game to see what he had to say.
He just boosting us. He just giving us the boost that we need. He's been carrying on and off the court. He's just being a good guy, and then we just gotta follow him. He's gonna relay us down the good path. So that comes on the court too. It feels good. Everybody was locked in. We played as a team. We all just came through. Everybody did what they needed to do to get the win. We just played as a team. Yeah, I would think so. Especially the kind of a rival game this is, and it's the theme of it, just know how we have a rival against them. It's just a fun game to play. Everybody just don't let the crowd get in the game. Everybody just stay composed. Just play as one. Don't let nobody tell you what Just don't let nobody get in your head. That's all. Yeah. We all just need to just talk on defense. Just play as one on defense. That's all that matters. Defense is a beautiful thing in basketball. That's all I gotta say. We can win state. I definitely think that we can win state.
All right, so I got one good news highlight in there, one dunk. So that was one North victory. Got another highlight coming up. This one from this week. That was last week. Here's from Monday as North St. Paul hosted Hastings. Scoring didn't get started for 3 minutes, but Matt Schlottman ends up with a three-pointer in the corner to give Hastings the first few points. North St. Paul continues. A big dunk here from Marcus Sims. That gets North on the board. It's 3-2. And the flashy start to this game continues. Schlottman once again shows his range. There's another three-pointer for him. And this game is getting exciting early on. Now Dylan Wagner here hits a quick 3. That's 9 points for the Raiders, all from beyond the arc. Skipping ahead a bit, we got good news here. He makes a three-pointer of his own to put North up 4. And then Schlottman ties it up at 15 with a drive to the hoop, draws the foul, and gets the and one. With an offensive rebound off the free throw, Dylan Wagner contributes another three-pointer, and that puts the Raiders up 18-15. This game stayed close, but North went ahead as we neared halftime with help from another three-pointer from Good News Capedgel. That one contested, gets it to rattle home. And the second half is going to start off with a bang as Marcus Sims comes up with another huge two-handed slam. It's one of our above-the-rim highlights. A short time later, Good News jumps the pass, and the court is all his. He adds a little flavor as he cradles the ball in the huge one-handed dunk, putting the Pullers up 13 with authority. Let's mix in another three-pointer here as Brendan Langford Johnson nails one, sending the Pullers up by 18 points. They got a commanding lead now. There's the three from Langford Johnson. Matt Schlottman is going to try and keep the Raiders in it. He drains another three-pointer. Schlottman a lot of points on this one, but Hastings trailed 12. Good News on the fast break. He's going to throw that one down as Pullers lead 54-39. A little bit later, Raiders trying to stay into it with the long ball. As they get another three-pointer. That's Schlottman again, but there's Dylan Bateman this time. He sent Schlottman going on the pump fake, nails the three-pointer, and puts North up by 3 even more. Now good news on the spin move off the window and in. And it was just a matter of time after that. 79-62, North St. Paul wins it after a shaky start. Got a couple of flashy baskets to show after the shaky start, but we talked to Good News Capedula after the win.
Feeling good, man. It was a good game. Great team win. We had to get better at calling out screens and the switches. At first, in the first half, we weren't very communicating very well. Second half, we really picked up the effort and the communication. We spent a lot of time in practice on gap defense. He really emphasizes defense because we know that offense is going to come, but we got to stop teams. And we plan to go to state, but first we got to go game by game, make sure we take care of whoever's in front of us. We can't lose any more games throughout the season. We're trying to get a good seed, and we're just trying to grind it out and hopefully make it to the big game. We played them over there. It was a pretty close game, but we grinded it out and took the win. I think we won by 4, but we plan to win bigger than that. We just got to buckle down, make a couple adjustments, and I think we'll come out with a W.
All right, now taking a look at the Metro East standings. North is currently 9-0 in conference with no signs of slowing down. They take on second place St. Thomas Academy this weekend. They're a real athletic bunch. They get up and down the court, and they're especially strong in the offense and defensive glass. Tartan is currently third place in the standings with a 15-3 record. Unfortunately for them, all their losses have come in conference play. They lost to Matamidi last Friday. Anton Kimmons is leading the way for this squad, averaging 20 points per game. Now taking a look at Matamidi, even after the loss of their whole team from last year, they have themselves playing good basketball. They're currently 13-6 overall, 5-4 in conference. Javon Hadley, the sophomore, still lead the team, averaging 15 points per game. Jack Shea not far behind with 13. Don't sleep on this Matamidi team. They play great team basketball, and they could upset someone in the section tournament if they get hot, depending on the seeding.
You got that right, John. Now switching over to the Suburban East, where we got White Bear Lake. They're currently 10-9 on the year, 4-6 in conference. And Jeremy Beckler and Sam Schwartz are leading the way for this team. They both average about 18 points a game, and both are juniors. This team has vastly improved from last year. And although maybe it was a rough season a little bit this year, I think they're going to be a team to watch out for next season.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, Sam. We'll be calling them a little later on this month, but you know, it's the end of the show, so that means it's time for My Athletes of the Week. All right, for my male athlete of the week, I have to go with junior guard from North St. Paul, who we interviewed, Dajuan Carter. He had 24 points against the Zephyrs in the game we had showed you earlier, as I just said, and hitting three-pointers from all over the court. I think we showed at least 3 or 4 of them. This kid was on fire. He will be a crucial piece for Damian Johnson-led Polars, and as he said, Coach said he was a very big surprise coming into this year. Now for female athlete of the week, I have to go with Matamidi player, 8th grader, I repeat, just an 8th grader, Allie Franco. She had 4 goals in a 92 win over North Shore last weekend. To go along with 4 goals, she had 2 assists. It's not too often that a high school player has a 6-point game, and she isn't even in high school yet. This woman is going to be amazing by the time she is a senior at Matamidi, and she's going to have a fun 4 years at Matamidi. That's it for my athletes of the week, folks.
All right, good stuff there. How about those 3-pointers from Dajuan Carter?
Oh, he was just lighting it up. As you know, it's really exciting that Coach Johnson was talking about how crucial he is to them and how that he didn't expect him to step up this year, and he's providing a spark that he didn't know that he could provide.
And I definitely mentioned he's been playing some good basketball as of late. Well, that's something SEC sports fans have seen firsthand, as we've got some Dajuan Carter buckets live right here on the station. Got a couple upcoming broadcasts for you as we are running out of time here a little bit. We'll be live tomorrow, Matamidi versus Owatonna hockey. We got our next episode of Sports Path 2 weeks from tonight. But I think that just about does it for us. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in about 2 weeks, live 7 p.m.
Yeah, great
February
show
21st.
tonight.
Hey, you too, man.
Back up to the point. There's a shot. Deflected. Rebound and a goal.
For the rebound, taps it to Jack Shea. Shea gets it taken by Capedula, goes up for the slam. Now make it 15-6 for Schlappen. Schlappen turns it over. Here's a dunk with authority for Good News Capegel. Liquid picks Phillips' pocket, goes up for the lay, and it gets in.
Center. Turnover. Bears take it. Long pass. Kipper that got through. Rebound and a goal.
St. Paul looking to respond. A runner into the lane. Phillips. Pass up. Slam. Dunk there. Marcus Sims. to Capego. Capego, a 3-ball. Money! 31-26, 5-point lead for the Polars. Here on Wednesday Live at 7 has a great chance there. Slam it home, Marcus Sims. Oh, a great steal there by Capego. He's got a chance. He'll cut it back. Trying to slam! Around the world. Good news, Capego.